We are back at the RCA Dome in Indianapolis. We're glad you've joined us, and we are set for the 3A state final game. Roncalli and Norwell. And Charles, I'm excited about these two teams, both well deserving of being here today.
Yeah, we have two powerhouses in the state of Indiana represented here today, and I can't wait to see these running backs do their thing. I love to see great runners, and we're going to see two fine ones today.
Daniel Costello ready to kick it off for Norwell. Norwell a win over the Marion Knights last week in the semi-state. As we mentioned on our pregame show, Norwell has never been here before. In fact, they won their first regional and their first semi-state this year. And a tribute to Gary Scott and his team. They played hard. They deserve it. Kind of a nubber down there to the 34-yard line, and that's where Roncalli will set up. Not sure whether Costello hit that one well or if that was by design. But the return, a yard maybe by Bonert, and the Rebels are set to go on offense.
Yeah, the Rebels are going to come out as we take a look at their starters. They're led by Mike Hyde, the quarterback. Then they bring out Shimbra. Heiss is going to be critical today because where he goes, that's where the running game goes. Hollowell, Thompson, and Laurie round out the backfield. The front line, which is in the trenches where they got to play big, you got Woelfel, Brizendine, Laney, Allen, and Corbett. So if they can get movement up front, look for Shimbra to have a big game here.
Mike Hyde is the quarterback. He can be very effective when they do pass, but they don't pass much. They like to run, and they keep it on the ground in the first play to Tom Shimbra. Shimbra nearly 1,600 yards on the year.
And look forward to hear Shimbra's name a lot today, Craig. Everything that starts here will start with him, be it giving him the ball out in the backfield or getting him the ball up the sideline. They love to run the rail routes. As we look at the defensive starters for Norwell, they line up with Gerbers, Nelson, Mapes, Costello, Hart, and Hoopengarner up front. And then their backfield is Bestie, Warden, Hanselman, Haley, and Mahan in the back.
It was a pickup of 6. There goes Shimbra. Wide open field. 30, 25. Out at the 15-yard line. Tom Shimbra finally brought down by Ryan Carr.
48-yard pickup by Shimbra, and he just does what he does best. He got a great kick-out block by the fullback, and once he got outside, it was all she wrote. I'm surprised he even got caught from behind there, Craig.
Well, he shows us good speed getting to the line, but then the breakaway speed here, he shows us some real ability.
He got a very good block with number 15, Mike Hyde, the quarterback, matter of fact, and after that, it's just a foot race, and a good job by the defense for Norwell just to save that touchdown.
The ball actually at the 18-yard line. Shimbra gets the call again, fights his way to near the 15-yard line. Shimbra, the go-to guy. In fact, he's one of their top receivers as well.
Yeah, Shimbra's going to have to establish himself, but what Norwell's going to have to do on defense, they're going to have to get Hardup and Hoopengarner going on defense. The defensive linemen have to tie up the offensive line. As you'll see here, they're getting 256 yards a game are the Rebels, and the defensive line from Norwell is going to have to do something to try to disrupt that.
2nd down and 6. The ball resting at the 14-yard line. Hyde, the quarterback, on the pitch. Shimbra, who accounts for about 60% of this offense, stopped as Norwell now makes an adjustment. And they need a little momentum here, and they need some positive things to happen, and pretty good things there defensively last 2 downs.
Right, and good tackle there by number 26, Derek Hoopengarner, and that's what Norwell needs to do. What you're going to see from Shimbra, who has 4 carries already for 52 yards, he's going to always cut in the block of John Heiss at the fullback. And what Norwell needs to do is they have to come and take away the cutback. As we see here, they're only allowing 125 rushing yards a game. Shimbra can get that right here in the first half.
They held Marion to 18 points last week. Hyde, the quarterback, the fullback, Heiss in motion. Now Hyde keeps, but a whistle before the snap, and a flag down at the 10-yard line.
And that may be a false start there on the offense.
Now the penalty against Roncalli. So after a burst of momentum, now Roncalli's slowing down a little bit. In fact, they're going the opposite direction.
Right, and in any football game, there's 2 things you got to guard against. That's the turnovers and the penalties. And those are things that stop drives, Craig. And the Rebels are going to need to make sure they bounty up right here because they got a 3rd and long inside the 20.
Top-ranked Roncalli. The state finals for the 7th time. 3rd time under their head coach. 3rd down and 10 after the penalty. Hyde again under some pressure, and Hyde is dumped. Brian Hartram, a senior, got in there, comes up with a big defensive play.
And that was just a great defensive effort as we get a good look at the 6'3", 205 Ryan Hartram. He did a good job of reading the play, coming up, and we'll see on this replay, does a good job of reading the play, understanding it is a design rollout, and getting pressure on the quarterback, and making an excellent open field tackle. That's one of the hardest things to do on defense, Craig.
And a 4th down situation. Roncalli will go for it. The ball at the 29-yard line. 4th and 21. Receivers to the left. Hyde looks that way, lofts it into the air. He's got a man out there, caught at the 5-yard line. Louis Lauf. Check that. Elijah Hammonds, the receiver.
And that was a great job by Elijah to find the hole. But that play was actually set up by the opposite receiver, number 14, number 14, Mike Williams, who was able to free up and allow him to get behind the corner. So a good team effort on offense right there, as we'll see on this replay. Hyde does a good job of staying in the pocket, finding his receiver, and delivering a perfect strike in between 2 defenders.
A 25-yard play and a 1st down, 1st and goal from the 4-yard line. The pitch down to about the 2-yard line. Richie Nolly in there.
And looking at the running backs, anytime Schembra comes out, you think you're going to get a break, Craig. But then they bring in his cousins, the Nally brothers, and you're going to get a full dose of family at running back.
Well, any way you can get it done, and if you keep it in the family and get it done, there ain't nothing wrong with that.
Right, and that's a good run there by Nally, just getting upfield, getting positive yardage, and look for Roncalli to just jam this up the middle right here.
8th play of the drive. 2nd down and goal from the 2-yard line. One more time, and nearly stopped. No gain in the play. Maybe a loss of a yard.
Excellent pressure up front by Dan Costello, number 77. And what you're seeing now on the defensive line is some stunts by Norwell. They're trying to slant and get the offensive lineman going backwards, as we'll see here on this replay. It's just a straight stunt. Costello gets upfield, beats his man, and slants to the running back. They're going to have to do some blitzes right here to make sure that Roncalli can't punch this in.
And Roncalli calls for a timeout. We're at the RCA Dome. We're scoreless. The Rebels on their first possession. 9 plays so far. And Roncalli, having won last week in the semi-state championship game at Whiteland, 34-14. And as we said earlier, the Mishawaka Marion Knights, a loser last week to Norwell, final 19-18. American Wholesale Furniture wants to wish the Rebels good luck in the state championship game. American Wholesale Furniture and Roncalli High School, 2 great traditions. Go Rebels. Well, we are seeing some defense that has allowed the big play, but has been a little bit tight, or at least tighter, in some of the closer plays, and that kind of is the mark of a good team, isn't it?
Right. And you look at Norwell, how they got here. They beat number 6 Rochester, then they followed that up beating number 5 Northwood, and then, as you just mentioned, beat number 2 Mishawaka. Now, it just makes sense that they should be in this game against number 1 Roncalli. They're having a great playoff run.
A shot of Gary Scott, the Norwell head coach, across the way. Schembra, the lone running back. 3rd down and goal. Schembra gets the call. Inside the 5, makes the cut. Touchdown! Tom Schembra following his blocking, Charles, and he does that well.
He did a good job being patient on that last play, and great blocking as well, not only by number 34, Heist, the fullback, but the quarterback as well came out there after he pitched the ball and got in front and got a good block. So you got to be happy if you're a Roncalli fan. They're running the football.
Well, if you run successfully, it sets up a lot of possibilities for a team. And now Mike O'Keefe, the senior kicker, 5'11", 168, in to attempt the point after. Place is good. The kick is up, and it is good. So Roncalli, very successful on their first touch of the ball. Roncalli goes all the way, and they're on top. This is the Indiana State Finals on the LaCie Broadcasting Network.
And it's now 7-0. Roncalli up on Norwell on a great dive play here by Schembra. He takes the ball inside, doesn't see anything there, and gets outside, Craig, and he dips his head in and scores the first touchdown of the game.
Ryan Hartrup, 41, Charles. He's the man that had the shot right here, but look at the cut. That's great running.
And I tell you, the turf does not hurt that at all, because when you're on turf, you can afford to get a nice little cut.
Norwell trailing. Roncalli up early. 7:18 to go here in the quarter.
The last scoring drive taking up 9 plays, 4 minutes, 42 seconds for a total of 65 yards. So that's what you want to see from a running football team.
Sure good try. Here comes the kick. Down to the 9-yard line. Shorgan up across the 25, and that's where he stopped. Brent Shorgan, a 5'11" senior. And Norwell with their first look at the ball.
And when we got a quarterback is Hanselman. We got the Shorgan at tailback, fullback Newsenwander. Shorgan coming back again, a halfback. That's not a misprint. Haley and Bestie rounding up the backfield. Up front, we got Bushy, Prater, Gennaro, Prater. They are brothers in Kren, and they're going to have to play big against this phenomenal defense by Roncalli.
Well, this is the quarterback, Matt Hanselman, a 5'11" junior. Pitches to Shorgan. Shorgan, a lot of running room. This is Brad on his horse on the far sideline, and a first down and inside Roncalli territory.
And what a block outside there, Craig. That was a phenomenal block, and I think we'll get a replay. We'll be able to see that block. The receiver came back in and sprung that run there. Great job coming out for Norwell. They want to establish the running game. 28-yard run. As you see right there, great block by number 14, Landon Haley, and then Shorgan does the rest. He just turns on the speed, and he's up the field and got an extra block from his brother right there.
Yeah, Brent does a nice job as he gets his brother another few yards. First down and 10. Hanselman hands off this time to Brent Shorgan. And Shorgan not a whole lot there.
Looks like number 58, Brian Brinsadine, was on the tackle. And talking about Brinsadine, there he is. Also Moore, Harris, Conover, Armbruster, and Agresta. They're going to be big as you look at this 4-4 play by Roncalli. In the backfield, Agresta, Harrington, Hammonds, Williams, and Mahan. So the defense for Roncalli is one of the state's best, only giving up 7.2 points a game.
Gave up 3 touchdowns against Cincinnati Moeller, but still won the game. Hanselman fights his way near the 30-yard line. Well, Hanselman, again, is a guy that doesn't pass a whole lot, but when you give him the opportunity, he can. This team likes to run, and Hanselman a part of that picture.
And if you start having Mike Williams, number 14, the defensive back, and Mark Mahan, the defensive back, making tackles, that means the quarterback's getting 20 yards down the field. As you'll see, a great keeper, good athletic move there by number 11, the quarterback there from Norwell, Matt Hanselman, and he does a good job getting positive yardage.
Pick up at 12 on the play, and stopped is Brent Shorgan.
Big play there by Stanley, number 36. And, you know, right now we're seeing the test of wheels. Roncalli's not used to having teams run on them like this. And as we see here on this replay, Stanley said, you know what, I've had enough. I'm going to stop this right now. Beats his man up front, makes a great tackle, and that's what you want to see if you're a Roncalli fan.
These two teams are well coached. We mentioned head coach Gary Scott, the Norwell mentor. 29 years, 21 of those at Norwell High School. His team trailing, second down and 12. Hanselman, he did cover the ball, which is good.
Just a poor center exchange there on that last play. And we saw some of that yesterday as well, Craig. It's just when you get to this level, the center's trying to get out so we can make that reach block. The quarterback's trying to get depth. As we take a look at the Rebels, under 100, defense allowing 82 rushing yards per game. And at this rate, Norwell's looking pretty good that they might get 83 yards, Craig.
Well, Norwell probably, if the truth be known a whole lot more for their defense. The question today is, will they have enough offense against this very tough Roncalli team? Now 3rd down and 14. And Hanselman didn't get the snap off as whistles and flags fly here at the RCA Dome.
And I think it's a delay game, actually.
On the white, still 3rd down.
And that's what it is. A delay a game against Norwell. Norwell and Roncalli with some pretty good support here today at the RCA Dome. 2 games yesterday. Lafayette Central Catholic over Perry Central, 59-7 in the 1A final. in the 2A final. Fort Wayne Lures 38, Danville 6.
A lot of action.
And 2 more games after this one here tonight, Charles. Third down, 19. The ball at the 41-yard line. Big play here for the Knights. Hanselman, good protection. This is Shorgan. Brad Shorgan has a first down.
I know a lot of coaches out there wish that they had a 3rd and 19 play. You see Norwell, they just get the back up side, and he picks up 24 yards in the first down. How do you defend that, Craig?
Exactly. And Charles, what's really impressive about these 2 teams so far is the big playability right on 3rd down.
100%. You see Hanselman delivers a good strike to Shorgan, and Shorgan just corrals the ball, gets upfield, and he runs north and south, which is going to be critical against the Rebels. You don't have a lot of time to go east or west today.
Down to the 17-yard line. Norwell knocking at the door. 4:37 left to go here in the quarter. Hanselman hangs it up there. Man up there. Dropped in the end zone, intended for Landon Hagerly.
Coverage there by Mark Mahan, and I don't know if Mark knows it, but the receiver just seemed like he dropped the ball, Craig.
He had it. No doubt about that. His favorite receiver, Hirely, was out there. He had it.
Perfect strike there by the quarterback, outside shoulder. Receiver corrals the ball and just can't hold on to it. So good job by Mahan staying with the coverage, but the receiver just unfortunately dropped the football, number 14 there on the play, Landon Hagerly. So I know he wishes he can get that play back.
The 8th play of the drive. Hanselman, a well-thrown ball. Let's see what he does here. A man in motion. Hanselman keeps, still on his feet, inside the 5-yard line. Well, both times Hanselman has kept it. He's run for positive yards.
And I'm real impressed right now with Norwell's offense, and especially Hanselman, the quarterback. When you look at them on paper, they come into the game averaging 302 yards rushing and only 96.5 passing, which makes you think Hanselman must not be able to throw the ball out. But he's doing a great job making decisions. As we see on this replay, it's just a quarterback keeper, and ends up being like a trap, and he gets positive yardage. So great play calling by the Norwell coaches right now.
Hanselman, only a junior. Gary Scott watching on. Handoff, straight ahead. And inside the 2-yard line to about the 1-yard line.
And that looked like Brad Shorgan on the play.
Stopped on the play by Armbruster.
And this is critical right here for Roncalli Rebels. When you're on the goal line, low man wins. So whichever offensive or defensive line can get low and get leverage and get movement is going to be successful right here. Big play for Norwell.
Second down and goal from the 1-yard line. In the end zone, touchdown, Brad Shorgan, who leads this team in touchdowns, has his team right back in it. Both teams scoring on their first possession.
And great balance by Norwell. They came out, established the pass, established the run, and right now, Roncalli Rebels are just off balance. They're not sure what's coming. Are they going to pass? Are they going to run? They're seeing great balance and wonderful play calling by the Norwell coaches.
John Huddlestone in to attempt the point after, the 5'8" senior. Hanselman, the hold, the kick is up, and it is good. Well, the Methodist Sports Medicine Center scoreboard is now even. 7 apiece, and we're seeing a good one here, folks. We're watching the Indiana State Finals on the LaCie Broadcasting Network.
And it's 7-7 here as Norwell storms back and gives Roncalli a nice dose of Shorgan, and that's number 24 there, Brad Shorgan, and he ties the game up here, Craig, and we've got a dogfight going.
Brad Shorgan, Charles, proves he can run for the short one and the long one. He's averaging close to 10 yards per carry. Of course, he had the big run that set things up for Norwell. Say, visit the Burger King location near Roncalli High School at 270 North State Road 135. Burger King before or after the game. Another short kick, and one more time covered at about the same spot as what we saw the last time, down to the 33-yard line.
And I think, Craig, that Norwell's made a decision. I saw that last time that the ball is actually laying on its side. So they made a decision going up front. We're not going to keep the ball deep. We're going to squib it. We don't want the Naley brothers in the back to burn us, and we'll just give Roncalli the ball at the 30 because normally they run down the field anyway. As we see here, the last time Roncalli was here was 1994, and they're making their 8th dome appearance. So you got to like that consistency as far as the program is concerned.
Roncalli very successful here in the 90s especially. The pitch, Shembra, the go-to guy, up over the 35-yard line. Boy, good balance for Roncalli so far.
Yeah, very good balance. A good tackle there by Derek Kupengardner. And throughout this game, we want to keep going back to what are the keys to win. And on that last drive, Norwell did what they had to do. The 21 seniors did what they had to do. They're playing great ball. And as you see here in defense, they're beating their man, getting across, and trying to shut down this great running back from Roncalli, Shembra.
You know, it seemed to me like Norwell took 3 or 4 or 5 plays maybe to adjust, and they have done a nice job since the very first snap or two by Roncalli. And here comes Hammonds. Elijah Hammonds, near sideline. One man to beat and bounced out of bounds, a first down, and he's going to be down to about the 12-yard line.
A great pickup of 42 yards there by Elijah, and that's what you want, instant offense. You get the ball to him, going on a reverse, and he just does the rest. Great speed and a great saving tackle there as we get a good look at him. 5'9", 162 senior. He has a sense of urgency right now, Craig.
This is outstanding. They're going to mark it down actually to about the 22. He steps out of bounds. Now watch Dustin Corbett come up, number 55. He is going to be one of the guys, actually 44 in there, Chris Shaw. And now the pitch. Here comes Shembra, heading his way down a couple of yards short of the first down.
The tackle at number 14, Hayerly. And what you see here is, once again, a test of wills. Each team is saying, you know what? We're a running football team. Stop us. And right now, Roncalli has gained the momentum back from Norwell.
A second down and 2 situation facing the Rebels.
This may be a fullback run. I see the fullback cheating up to the line of scrimmage.
Nice, the fullback. The give, though, is to Shembra. Brought down hard at about the 10-yard line. Tackled on the play by Hanselman, who doubles, of course, on both sides of the ball.
And I like to see that on the high school level. You know, you're young, you have a lot of energy in most cases, and it's good for you to play as much as you can, because once you get to college, you're normally going to be stuck at one position. As we get a look at this replay again, good kick out there by Heiss, and a good run by Shembra, just getting positive yardage. And that's what I like about Shembra. He always falls forward. You never see him falling backwards.
First and 10 from the 10-yard line. Shembra makes it cut, and Hanselman one more time putting the wrap on him from behind.
Did a good job of forcing everything back in, and that's what you want when you're playing on the defense. He's playing a defensive back position, so because of the alignment from Roncalli, it affords him the opportunity to come up to the line of scrimmage and force everything back in. But he has to remember, he's got to keep outside containment, or Shembra's going to get out wide and get to the end zone.
A loss of 1 on the play. 1:40 and counting here in the first quarter. And around the other side, after the fake to Shembra, this is Hammonds, who doesn't get much further. Hammonds stopped at the 11-yard line. No gain on the play. Ryan Hartrop, who's been very, very busy here today, and Ryan Carr also in on the play.
And as we'll see here on this replay, it's just a nice dive fake and reverse to number 12 here, coming around, that being Elijah Hammonds. And Hartrop just does a good job of staying at home, reading his cues, and now allowing the running back to get outside of him. That's the key when you're playing against a team like Roncalli. You got to know your assignments and do your role and make sure you're in position to make a tackle.
Well, we haven't seen Heiss a whole lot here, the fullback. We're not going to see him now either. The pass is incomplete, intended for Williams, but a flag on the play.
Yeah, we have 2 flags on the play. Actually, it looks like it might have been a holding back near the backfield, and I'm not sure what the flag is up front. As we wait to get the referee's depiction of what happened.
Joshua Nelson, a 6'1" senior, applied the pressure.
Holding.
And a hold
here
on Roncalli.
An eligible man downfield here.
It also looked like an illegal man downfield as well. As we get a look at this last play, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to see the holding here, but it looks like number 74 was held by number 64. Yeah, we got the takedown right there. And also, Roncalli had a man down the field, so I'm not sure if that was supposed to be a screen on that last play.
Well, Roncalli, both times now when they've had the ball, they've gotten down close and then been pushed back a little bit. They did score in their first possession.
Right. As we get a look at today's referees, we got John Morrill, Mike Eckert, Rick Rensler, William Harkness, and Larry Rose. So Indiana definitely got a fine array of referees as we also get a look at the Norwell coach right there.
Gary Scott, a Penn High School graduate. The first graduating class, we've been told, at Penn High School. And his alma mater will be playing in the night game tonight, the last game of the day. Bob Gunn was the principal back when he played football at Penn High School. 7-7 the score. Knights and the Rebels.
Hammonds right now has 2 carries for 41 yards. He came into the game with just 205 on the year, so you're talking about a player playing above and beyond his ability. He's having a great game so far.
Big play here. 3rd down and 25. High deep drop. The pass to Shembra. Shembra stepped out of bounds, it appears. He tried to get by the Norwell defender, but stepped out of bounds. He's going to be way short of the first down.
And that's Derek Harpengarner, number 26. And you're talking about smelling out the screen. It's easy for me to see it up here. I got the best seat in the house, Craig. But as you see right here, the linemen let their guys go, hoping that they'll get penetration. But Harpengarner stays at home, looks at the play, and forces the running back to the sideline. Great textbook play there by Harpengarner. I'm sorry, Hoopengarner.
Again, very impressed with this Norwell defense. They have been tough when they've had to be. And we are tied at 7. The Methodist Sports Medicine Center scoreboard. Say Culture Lighting specializes in all types of bulbs and ballasts. Culture Lighting has indoor and outdoor fixtures and pulls. They're located at 7750 Zionsville Road in Indianapolis. That's Culture Lighting, your lighting specialists. Good support from both sides. Roncalli and Norwell, the first game of the day. Coming up next, the 4A state final. And that should be a good one as well.
It definitely should be. We've had an opportunity to see some fine Indiana football, and you always hear about the basketball within this state, but the football has definitely put its name on the map. And you look at Roncalli, they knocked off Cincinnati Norwell, and they were ranked in the USA Today top 25. So football is alive and well here in Indiana.
Actually, a 4th down and goal from the 29-yard line. Roncalli cannot get a first down. And another flag. And another flag before the snap.
And that looks like that's going to be a false start on the offense.
Dead ball, 34.
And procedure. Boy, that's going to hurt the Rebels.
And as you've noticed, the Rebels are real straight as far as what they do on offense. They're not going to try a 30-yard field goal. It's definitely not going to try a 45-yard field goal. They're just going to take their chances, try to make something happen through the air, and see if they can get a personal foul and get a first down.
Double receivers to the left, and a timeout called by Hyde, the quarterback. Timeout for Roncalli. 37 seconds left to go here in the quarter. Hey, here's a great tip for the holiday shopping season. Get into Galleons. Galleons has all the best gift ideas for everyone on your list, and the friendly, knowledgeable staff to help you find those gifts really fast. Galleons. Speaking of gals, nice cheering section for Roncalli.
Yeah, they brought out all their fans and friends today as we get a look at the lone loss for the Knights this year was the loss to 5A Homestead, and actually Homestead wound up winning their conference. So not a bad loss. If you're going to have to lose to somebody, not a bad way to lose.
I'll tell you what, Homestead is a great program, and when you come within a point of Homestead, you've played pretty good football.
Right, and Homestead was also the runner-up last year in the state, so very good showing there for them. But Roncalli has had 3 penalties already for 25 yards, and that's stalling their drives here today, Craig.
Yes, and the Rebels look to be a little bit out of sync. They've used up some timeouts. They have 1 remaining.
And the fake
punt. And Norwell not surprised. They were ready. Hammonds out of bounds, and Norwell takes over.
And I tell you what, I was fooled. If you get a good look at Coach Cyphers, they're not going to try to do too much today. They're going to play this game straight, and they're going to play it honest. And that's not a bad call right there, because normally when you punt, you're not going to get a very good punt this close anyway. They're probably going to get the ball to 20, so you take your chances, cut your losses, and come out and play good defense.
Not a bad idea. 30 seconds to go in the quarter from the RCA Dome. A lot of football here this weekend. The Colts are here tomorrow, Charles.
And they're playing phenomenal this year as well.
Hanselman fakes, keeps, and is dumped. Really stopped for the first time on the run here today.
Right. Good recognition there by the Rebels up front. And they're going to have to start asserting themselves. And you look at Roncalli's defense, they've only given up 7.2 a game. So if you look at who scored at least 2 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns, only Cincinnati Moeller. So Norwell's going to get more confidence, as you see right here. Hanselman keeping the ball on the quarterback keeper. If they can get another touchdown here, Roncalli's got to say, what's going on today? What's going on today?
You know, I've got to say that Norwell has adjusted just extremely well here after the first couple of plays by Roncalli. We've been even up since then. We're tied at 7. We'll be back in a moment. You're watching the Indiana State Finals on the LaCie Broadcasting Network. Catholic, a winner in the 1A game over Perry Central, 59-7. Fort Wayne Lures defeated Danville in the 2A game, 38-6. We are tied at 7. Norwell and Roncalli, and the handoff goes to 22. That's one of the guys that you'll see a lot of here today. You'll either see Brent or Brad Sorgen. Both are very fine runners.
Right, and that was Brent right there. And you get great balance from those Sorgen brothers. You get a total of over 2,000 yards between the both of them, and also 40 touchdowns. So when you want instant offense, you know where you have to go. And I think we have an injury timeout on the field. Looks like number 14 for Roncalli, Mike Williams.
And Williams looks to be injured enough where he can't get off himself, so he enlists the support of a teammate and assistant coach. Mike Williams, a 6'1" defensive back. Just inside the second quarter. This injury timeout sponsored by Methodist Sports Medicine Center in partnership with Clarion Health, the team physicians to 25 high schools, 11 colleges, and the Indianapolis Colts. Methodist Sports Medicine treats the weekend athlete too. And off, Brad Shorgan. And Shorgan with a nice run.
And didn't show a lot of brotherly love right there, pushing over his brother Brent on the way by. So everywhere you look, you get Shorgan, a full dose of it.
Again, folks, Methodist Sports Medicine. Give them a call, 1-800-SPORTS-MED, the Methodist Sports Medicine Center. We keep you in the game.
As we take a look at this replay, good patience there by number 24, Brad Shorgan. And you see his brother Brent right in front of him trying to find someone to block. Gets a good shot on number 40 for Roncalli. And he just does a great job of having patience and getting up the field, getting positive yardage.
At the 44-yard line, first down and 10 for the Knights. This is Brent Sorgen, another first down inside Roncalli territory.
And that's just a great hit and mixed direction play there. And you got to like what Norwell's doing. Now, I said it in the first quarter. They have great play calling, as we'll see here. Just a straight misdirection dive to number 22, Brent Shorgan. He gets up the field, gets great blocking, and once he gets into the secondary, he's getting positive yardage.
Rojas in on the play. First down and 10. And in motion is Nagel. And Norwell keeps it on the ground. We've not seen a lot of Hanselman, but I can tell you firsthand that Matt Hanselman can throw the ball. He really should have had a touchdown pass earlier.
Yes, he should have. He's shown a lot today, and you got to wonder what's Roncalli thinking about. They're not used to being in this type of situation. Once again, not to reiterate it too much, they've only given up 7.2 points a game. So when you break that down, that's not a lot of yardage either. So they're going to be getting into new territory for them, as you see here. 302 yards per game by Norwell.
Second and short. Brent Sorgen to the 35-yard line. Saying when your job requires quality and precise results, you can depend on Conover Custom Fabrication. They take pride in what they do in the stainless steel fabricating industry. Whether large or small, complicated or simple, every job is very important. They've been involved with fabrication for Canseco Fieldhouse and the RCA Dome.
Good-looking drive here by Norwell. Brad Sorgan already has 5 carries for 50 yards, and his brother Brent 3 carries for 13 yards. So great balance by Norwell right now.
They're down and a yard to go. Brent Sorgan, stop. Great defensive effort. Both Harrington in there, along with Arguesta.
I'm kind of surprised by that last play call. They've been having a lot of success running north and south. And as we see on this replay, they tried to get the 1 yard out wide. And when you do that, you allow the defense to get penetration. And great play there by number 46, as you mentioned, John Agresta, just stopping the play call.
Great reaction by Roncalli.
Future Rebel right there, or Norwell.
Maybe a Packer as well. And both teams like to go for it on 4th down. 4th and 3. And the pass across the middle is complete. A nice idea to the big tight end, Matthew Best. 6'4", 215 pounds, and a good target with great hands. You like that combination?
Oh, yes, I do. And these aren't shy offensive teams here, but I love that last play. The receiver did a good job of getting his shoulders turned to the quarterback. And as you'll see here, the quarterback turns his body, points at his target, and delivers a strike. So fundamentally, that was terrific, and it also picked up the first down, Craig.
A lot of courage by both these teams offensively. What they won't try on 3rd and 4th down. And not a whole lot there.
Looks like Jimmy Staley on the tackle.
All kinds of pressure from Staley.
And that's a showstopper there. One thing you have to watch out when you have the quarterback so involved in the rushing game, he's going to take some shots.
And a 2nd down and 8 situation upcoming at the 27-yard line. Bob Rohrman's Indy Motor Works is the largest Hyundai, Suzuki, and Isuzu dealer in Indiana. Located at 8445 US 31 South, and their phone number is 317-885-1000. And not a whole lot there for Norwell. A 3rd down situation coming up. Bob Rohrman's Indy Motor Works, one of our fine broadcast sponsors here in the 3A state final telecast.
And that last play there by Brent Sorgan, that little run, was a nice play of this drive. So I like what Norwell's doing. Not only are they showing balance on offense, but they're eating up the clock, keeping Simber and his friends on Roncalli off the field. And that's the way you're going to beat a good offense. Keep them off the field.
Well put, Charles. Another big play here. 3rd and 4. Make it 5. Hanson in a long count. Nagel, the man in motion. Bit of a counter play. This is Brent Sorgan. And Sorgan going to be stopped short of the 1st down.
It makes it easy to call plays when you know going in. Every series is 4 downs. So on 3rd down, you can afford to run the ball when you need 5 because you can come back on 4th down and get you a play to get 2 to 3 yards.
Armbruster, the stop. Boy, he's been a good one. Over 100 tackles so far this year.
And I think Norwell's called a timeout here, so we got a little break in the action.
So there's a break in the action. Our Methodist Sports Medicine Center scoreboard tied at 7. Norwell and Roncalli. Much more coming up. The Indiana State Finals on the LaCie Broadcasting Network.
And excitement is abound here at the RCA Dome. Norwell, Roncalli, 7-7. Big 4th down play coming up here for Norwell, Craig.
11 plays, 49 yards, a possession that has run 5 minutes and 15 seconds. Nice touch on the pass to Nagel inside the 15, out of bounds at the 14-yard line.
Big-time call there by the Norwell coach. You got to love what Gary Scott's doing on the sideline. 24 years of experience, 21 at Norwell, and he knows what he's doing with this offensive football team, Craig.
Well, they probably took some pointers from Bob Gunn, who is the principal at Goshen High School. He and Gary Scott, teammates at Penn High School many years ago, both know this game very well. Goshen coming up in the 4A game, and here in the 3A game, Norwell, very, very impressive. I can't tell you how impressed I am with the composure of this team, which, when you look at the stats on paper, Roncalli has the edge.
That's right, but they don't have the edge here today.
1st down and 10. Nagel, running room, tripped up, still on his feet, down to the 6-yard line. Daniel Nagel, only a sophomore, lost his shoe, but it doesn't matter when you have that kind of breakaway speed.
And what we're seeing today is heart. A lot of people thought Norwell, they're not going to be able to play with the big boys, Roncalli, but you can't teach heart and you can't replace it. As we get another look at this play right here, just great individual effort by Daniel. He does a great job of having patience, getting inside the block there. Great block by Shorgan, 2 blocks, matter of fact. And without a shoe, he still gets 5 yards. So think about what he could have done if he had 2 shoes, Craig.
He would have been like Charles Stafford at Notre Dame.
Flattery will get you nowhere.
Second and a yard. The ball at the 5-yard line.
And
Brent in the end zone. Brent Sargent. And you're never going to go wrong when you call this game with Norwell. It's going to be a Sargent or a Sargent. This time, Brent, who actually is a little bit smaller than his twin brother, Brad.
And I tell you what, Mike Williams was not happy to meet Brent because when they met at the goal line, Brent typically ran him over. So great effort by Shorgan, and the crowd here for Roncalli is shocked.
An impressive drive. Gary Scott and his team. And the point after is up and good. So Huddlestone makes it a 14-7 ball game. The Knights leading the Rebels of Roncalli. Back in a moment. You're watching the Indiana State Finals on the LaCie Broadcasting Network.
And we're back at the RCA Dome, and Norwell Knights has taken the lead here, 14-7 over Roncalli, and just a great individual effort here by Shorgan. And as you see right there, runs over number 35 for Roncalli at the goal line, Armbruster, and that's all she wrote, Craig. We've got a dogfight going here into the third quarter.
A dogfight, Charles. You are absolutely right, and a bit of a surprise here. But no surprise if you talk to any of the Norwell guys. And again, Costello, a short kick, this time fielded at the 34-yard line and brought back to about the 40-yard line. So Roncalli on the return. Hammonds gets the ball into pretty good field position there for the Roncalli Rebels.
And you got to wonder if the offense for Roncalli is cold. That last drive by Norwell, 14 plays, 6 minutes and 31 seconds, 70 yards. The big play of 4th down, 5-yard pass to Brent Shorgan. I mean, and you look at it, you say to yourself, you can't play if you're not on the football field, Craig.
Talk about clock management. Each of the 4 drives in the game have been 2:59 or longer sustained drives by both Roncalli and Norwell. Now 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line. Quick give up the middle, and there's your man, Heiss. John Heiss, the 5'10" fullback, only a junior.
Right, and he'll be back next year. And what I like from Heiss is he does a great job with the kickout block. A lot of times you don't hear about the interior lineman. As we get a good look at John, you don't hear about the fullback because they're doing the dirty work. They're making the blocks that allow the featured back to get his yardage. And the Lion and Heiss at fullback does a great job for Roncalli.
A pickup of 6. 2nd and 4 from the 47-yard line. Now the pitch to Shembra. Bottled up. Shelby Upholstery has been taking care of people's needs since 1932. At Shelby Upholstery, there's complete interior design without the cost of an interior designer. That's Shelby Upholstery, 3136 West 16th Street. Phone 631-8911.
And Shambra limps off the field. For those of you who are Roncalli fans, you know he was injured a couple weeks ago and just got himself healthy, but he kind of runs into his quarterback right here, Hyde, and trips up, and right there at the end, I think he got his knee rolled up. So hopefully he'll be fine, but as we said earlier in the game, now they're going to bring in his cousins, the Naley brothers, so it all stays in the family anyway, Craig.
Yeah, what difference is there, huh? And not a whole lot there. Very little yardage for Hammonds, who likes to run with the ball, but Norwell ready for him.
And someone forgot to tell Norwell that they're not supposed to win this football game because they're playing well beyond what they've done all year, and their fans are rewarding them with a lot of noise here. Great game so far by Norwell. As we see on this last play, just a mixed direction in around by Elijah, number 12, and he's just bottled up right there. Great defensive effort.
Well, we've talked about it already in the telecast. Heart means a whole lot, and Norwell playing with a bunch of it right now. Shorgan watches this one sail out of bounds at the 17-yard line. There is time with Norwell on top, 14-7. They'd like to add to that lead. And And this is quite a surprise early.
Yeah, 30-yard punt there by the punter. And what we're seeing right now is, as we alluded to before the game started, it's all a test of wheels. Which offensive line or defensive line is going to say, we're going to establish our running game or we're going to stop the running game? And what we've seen is Norwell Knights have come out with a game plan that has been flawless up until this point. They've established the running game, thus allowing them to utilize their play-action pass. And right now, they've got Roncalli on the back of their heels.
Well, tell you what, this Norwell team has proven that they can get things done. They have had success in each of the stops along the postseason drive, knocking off ranked teams. Quarterback under some pressure. Hanselman gets out of the pressure and makes a 4-yard gain on it. Boy, how'd he do that?
Great individual effort. As we saw the safety come up late, Jim Harrington, and that's what I like to see from Hanselman. He does a good job of understanding what he needs to do within the realms of his offense. He doesn't try to make his team lose the game. He makes good decisions, and that's what you want from a young quarterback. Don't necessarily win me the game, but just don't lose me the game either, Craig.
Hanselman, an ability to create something out of nothing. Pickup of 3, 2nd down and 7. As we said, Norwell knocking off ranked teams. Number 6, Rochester, 17-14 in the sectional opener. Knocked off number 5, Northwood. Number 2, Mishawaka Marion. Shorgan. Brad powers forward for a couple of yards.
And look for Norwell to basically try to deal with the flats on this next play. They've had success on late 3rd and 4th downs, getting the ball to the running backs in the flat. And I would be surprised if Gary Scott doesn't say, you know what, it's worked for us 3 times already. Let's try it again. As we'll see here on this replay, it's a straight dive play. Good recognition by Roncalli, number 35, Armbruster.
Quarterback makes a move down to the 30-yard line. Hanselman, no one to throw to. Probably a good idea with some good coverage deep.
And I think Norwell's going to take their losses right here. Just pump the ball down. You don't want to give Roncalli the ball and momentum just deep in your own end zone. So look for them to pump the ball and hopefully be able to play stingy D, which they've shown so far in this first half.
Take another look at Hanselman. Again, sometimes no play is better than making a big mistake.
Right, and that's
crucial
not
part of the game.
Right, and that's not going to show up in the stats, but that was a good decision on his part.
29-yard line. Hammonds still on his feet. A flag is down, and he makes his way to the 36-yard line. Elijah Hammonds, a return of 9 yards, but a flag on the play.
And normally when you get a flag on a punt, it's a clip in the back, so we'll look and see what the referee has to say about this.
You are absolutely right. You don't miss much down there, Charles.
Take it back. Clip. On the return, first down.
And that's been a story of this first half for Roncalli. They've killed themselves with penalties, and that's going to take their drive, which would have started at the 30-yard line, back to the 20. And that's a big difference when you're trying to get your drive going with under 2 minutes here in this second quarter, excuse me.
And we'll recap the first 2 quarters in just a little bit. Be sure and join us for the halftime report, brought to you by Synergy. Synergy, where energy comes to life. 1st and 10 for Roncalli at their own 21-yard line. Hyde, plenty of protection, throwing deep. Incomplete. A nice job by the quarterback, Hyde, and trying to link up with Schember out of the backfield, who happens to be one of his favorite targets.
Right, and Schember is a very good back in the sense that not only can he run within the tackles and show you some speed outside, he can also catch the football, and that's what's going to put you above the other running backs in the state and also the country. Can you also catch the ball? And that's important because you need to be a multi-dimensional back like fans here are going to see tomorrow with the running back from the Indianapolis Colts, Craig.
Yes, they have quite a team this year, don't they?
Yes, they do. Playing well beyond what I thought they'd do this year.
Peyton Manning leading the charge. Colts and the Jets here from the RCA Dome. Back to high school action. Swing pass. Norwell all over the Rebels.
Great defensive effort there by number 22, Brent Shorgan, and number 26, Hoopengarner, and they're everywhere. No matter what you're doing, you're going to have a Shorgan involved in the play in some way, Craig.
Norwell looking like they've been here before. This is the first time this team ever has stepped onto the floor of the RCA Dome. And they have reacted well, especially on defense.
And that play takes a long time to develop. As you see, as Simber was getting the ball, and we just got a timeout on the field called by Roncalli with 1:11 left. But that play takes a long time to develop because you're trying to get the back out wide. And when you do that, you allow the defense to outflank him and then thus corral the football. And there's not too much you can do after that, Craig.
Rebels talking things over. 1:11 left to go. They'd like to get on the board at least one more time here. They've got the time if they use the sidelines, as they have proven they can do.
Right, and Roncalli coming up on this third down. They're 1 out of 4 today, and on fourth down, they're 1 out of 1. So don't be surprised if they have some trouble on this third down because of the penalties and lack of running inside, they've had a lot of long third down situations.
Bruce Cypress on the sidelines. There's your third down stat. 3rd and 9 to the 22-yard line. 5 sets up the screen, and Norwell there again. Brad Sorgen all over the Roncalli Rebels.
And that was sniffed out rather easily. And on a third down and long, you're normally going to see the screens, and you're going to see the draw. So good recognition of that by the Norwell coaches, putting their players in a position to make this play. As we'll see right here in the replay, it's just a straight draw, swing out to the side, and once the ball gets there, you get great individual effort by Sorgen, who makes a sure tackle, and Norwell might put themselves in position to get the ball again here as they call a timeout right here, trying to find out what do they want to do on this punt return, block or set up the return.
Loss of 10 on the play. The tight end Dan Thompson dropped by Sorgen. Gary Scott feeling pretty good about right now. His team has been impressive. 59 seconds left to go here in the first half. The Knights on top 14-7, trying to do something they've never done before. Not only have they made it here to the RCA Dome for the first time, but they've never, ever won a state championship in football.
Right, and actually one of the things they have going for them is that last win against Mishawaka Marion, 19-18, and the week before that, 35-27. They're used to winning the close game here in the state finals, so that might be looming large for them as this game progresses late.
Well, I still contend, Charles, they have time. 59 seconds. And a fourth down situation, and they're not going to do anything that silly this deep. They're going to punt it away as Williams is in.
Looks like Norwell setting up for the return, but what a great punt.
Outstanding punt. And a great Roncalli roll. Inside the 20-yard line to the 19. Well, you may not score with 59 seconds left, but you're not going to probably allow Norwell to do much either with a punt like that.
69 yards on the punt, Craig. He's averaging 39 yards per punt this year, and if you look at the local paper here, the Star News, the punter is in the top 40 for Mr. Football here in Indiana, so not surprisingly that Mike Williams had that great punt.
A 6'1" senior. He's got Norwell inside their own territory, inside the 20. There's the kicker for Norwell, Costello.
Look for Norwell to keep the ball on the ground. They don't want to fumble, but they also want to keep the clock running and just get out of this half with the 14-7 lead. Feeling real good at halftime.
Anselman to Nagel as the clock continues to roll. Again, coming up, it's the Synergy halftime report. Join us for a recap of stats and highlights. Synergy, where energy comes to life. Well, there you see our scoreboard report. The Methodist Sports Medicine Center scoreboard. 14-7 Norwell. Roncalli scored first. Norwell with consecutive unanswered touchdowns. Brad Sorgen makes a cut. Picks up a couple of yards on the play, and that will do it for the first half of action. The 3A state finals from the RCA Dome in Indianapolis. We have a good one on our hands.
Yeah, I'm real excited about how the second half is going to play itself out. As we get a good look at Gary Scott, he's got to be feeling good about his team, but he also knows, hey, I'm playing against a Roncalli team that can put points on the board in abundance, so I got to keep my... It looks like Norwell came in and had a game plan, and they run their game plan extremely well so far.
This is a team, Charles, that has gained momentum week by week in postseason play. We told you earlier they were very tough against 6th-ranked Rochester. beating them in maybe a bit of a surprise, 17-14 in the sectional opener.
And we're back here at the RCA Dome for the second half of the 3A state championship. The Norwell Knights are leading 14-7 over the Roncalli Rebels. And Craig, what do you think Roncalli has to do this second half to get back in this ball game?
Well, I think they just have to rely on what has got them here, and that has been good defense. If they can hold Norwell to 14 points, maybe give them another touchdown, I think they've got the offense to get right back into this.
I definitely couldn't have said it any better, Craig. So I'm excited about this second half, and Norwell does get the ball first, so if they can come out here and put another touchdown on the board beginning of this third quarter, that can loom large for Norwell Knights.
Tony Rojas set the kickoff for Roncalli, and the second half is underway. Brent Sorgan at the 14-yard line. Sorgan up to the 30-yard line, brought down by Stephen Bass. A 17-yard return, and pretty good shape for Norwell.
And I expect to see Norwell come back out and maintain the same balance they had in the first half. We said that what they had to do to win this game was live the dream, believe the dream, and they've done that so far in the first half. And they had to do a blue-collar effort. They've done that because they've been able to run inside with the Shorgan brothers and also get the ball out in the flat to the Shorgan brothers as well. So if they can get a quick start again in the second half, they're going to win this football game.
Nothing compares with senior leadership. And senior leadership is what this Norwell team is all about, with probably the exception of their quarterback, a junior. And there's the senior Brent Sorgan, who is gang tackled and brought down a loss of the play.
As you get a good look at Brizardine, who made that tackle, we expect to see this from Roncalli now. He's a senior. He understands, you know what, this is starting to slip away from us. We're undefeated. We're trying to have a perfect season. We've got to step up now because this is our last game on the high school level.
There's a good look at Roncalli. They're big up front. Zach Conover set to face Norwell one more time. Hanselman over the middle, and a completed pass at the 44-yard line. Norwell showing that they can do both the run and the pass. Best the receiver, the tight end.
15-yard pickup, and that right there is going to take the sail out of Roncalli. They started this half getting pressure up front, but when you can sit back there, Hanselman, and get the ball up the field to your receivers, that's going to make Roncalli hesitate a little bit because they don't want to get beat on the pass. So Norwell has Roncalli right where they want them right now.
Norwell mixing in the pass very effectively. Hanselman does not throw a lot, but when he does, he's right on the money. And speaking of being right on, Sorgan, he was down, it appeared, but Roncalli has recovered the ball at the 45-yard line. And Jim Harrington, the man who recovers the fumble.
And that's what Norwell can't do. They were doing a good job in the first half of protecting the football and not having the penalties, but that's how you let a great football team like Roncalli get back in the game now. They're going to have the momentum after that fumble recovery.
What has got Norwell to halftime with a lead has been the fact they've made virtually no mistakes. Well, to begin the second half, this is a costly one.
Right, a great job by number 46, John Agresta, of ripping that ball out of here, as we'll see at the end of this play. He just grabs the ball and rips it out, and a poor play, but a great play for the Rebels.
First down and 10 from the 44-yard line of the Rebels. From a shotgun for the first time, Hyde, who keeps it. A flag on the play. Hyde wrapped up as he crossed the 45-yard line. And we'll check out the penalty. And it's against Roncalli, and they have been guilty of several miscues here in the game so far, penalized quite frequently.
And that's something that's not usually indicative of their play. They normally play very disciplined, and that just shows you how well Norwell's playing right now, that they're forcing Roncalli to try to do some things that they normally don't try to do, which is get outside of their game plan.
Illegal motion on the red. Repeat, first down.
Man in motion. Roncalli misfiring, and that'll set them back just a little bit further. First down and 15 now facing the Rebels from their own 40-yard line.
Look for Roncalli to try to get Shimmer more involved here in the second half, be it throwing him the ball on some wheel routes up the sideline and also getting him outside on the sweeps. They got to get the ball in his hands because as he goes, so does Roncalli. Hyde with a lone setback.
Looks, fires, complete to his big tight end. And some healthy yards there. Not quite enough, though, for the first down.
Hey, you don't see Dustin catching the ball a lot, Dustin Baum. But that's probably the main reason why he was so open. Normally, they like to go their other tight end, as we'll see here. Just a good job by the quarterback, Hyde, getting in the pocket, setting up, and throwing a good strike to 88 on that catch there, Nate Lowry. Excuse me, I stand corrected, Nate Lowry. And wonderful play, positive yardage, and now they're in second and short.
A pickup of 12, second down and 3. The fake, some pressure. Quarterback gets it away, almost intercepted. Very close, as Carr almost got his hand on it.
Looked like Nicholas Warden on the pressure, number 34, and that's what you have to do. Roncalli does not throw the ball very often, but when they do, you've got to put pressure on the quarterback, and that's what you see right here. Great pressure up front, was forced to throw to be high and almost intercepted. So Roncalli is now faced with a third down, which they are 1 of 5 today, Craig. 1 of 5.
And I think they converted on their first third down effort. That's correct. Since that time, they've been unsuccessful.
But as we know, they are in 4 down territory probably.
At the 48-yard line of Norwell. Hands off. And Shembra doesn't get it. He's going to be short by about a yard, maybe 2, and another flag on the play.
It's probably a holding. By the reaction of the crowd, I think it might have been right. It's probably a holding on Roncalli, and that's the thing that they don't need to have happen for him. And as we get a good look at their coach, Coach Cypress, he's got to be saying to himself, what do I have to do to get my team to understand that we got to play discipline?
Holding on the offense. Repeat, third down.
The hold against Roncalli. Say, would you like to make your printed materials more effective, increase readership, retention, and response by 75 to 85%? You can by adding color to your printing from Pip Printing. They do color in a big way, adding big impact and more bang for your printing buck. So if you want it in color, on time, take it to Pip. 3rd and 12 at the 43-yard line. Hyde, the quarterback. Good protection. Gets it out there. It is dropped. Shembra out of the backfield down to the 30-yard line, and good coverage deep by the Norwell Knights.
And that was that real route I was talking about. They're trying to get Shembra in the flat, make the defensive players commit, and then reel them up the sideline. And as we'll see on this play, Shembra was open for a moment. I think the ball might have slipped out of Hyde's hand, and because of that, as we see the little wobble on the ball as it comes there, it gives the defender time to get in there and knock that ball out. So great effort by Shembra, but I think Roncalli's going to have to come back to that play before this game's over.
Shortwood Twins back. This goes to the side of Brent. Did it touch him? It rolls out of bounds at about the 5-yard line. Well, a bit of a mental miscue back there, and Norwell will be deep in their own territory. A 52-yard punt with a roll. The Knights on top, 14-7. You're watching the Indiana High School State Finals. I'm Lassine, Broadcasting Network.
And we're back here at the RCA Zone 3A State Championship. Norwell Knights 14, Roncalli Rebels 7, as we get a good look at the Norwell fans. They got to be happy right now, Craig. Their team is ahead 14-7, and life is looking pretty good for them right now.
Norwell's feeling good. They have played a game that has, well, displayed some good athleticism. Speaking of the Shorgan brothers, good coaching, of course. That goes without saying. Gary Scott doing a wonderful job. And, boy, they haven't made many bad plays.
No, they haven't.
Stevens Mortuary offers pre-need and ad-need services. Stevens Mortuary, located at 5520 West 10th Street. And on second down, short yardage.
Straight dive by Brad Shorgan. And look for Norwell to keep the ball on the ground right now. They're backed up in their own territory. It's going to be 3rd and short, and you don't want to take too many chances because you don't want to turn the football over. But they got to get this 1 yard, and to keep this drive alive, they're going to need to give the ball to one of the Shorgan brothers and see what happens.
Hanselman has directed this team well. Straight up the middle, and a first down for Norwell. Well, the short yardage is no problem for Norwell, and the Knights in good shape with 8:18 left to go here in the quarter.
And time of possession actually has been pretty even this game, although it appears that Norwell has had the ball for a much longer period of time than Roncalli, but it just seems that Norwell right now has the better game plan, and they're executing their game plan flawlessly.
Well, Charles, again, we talked about it, but they're playing like they've been here before.
Yes, they are. 10 first downs before, as we saw from that last graphic.
And a little enthusiasm after the stop. Roncalli needs a little bit of that. Zach Conover in the play.
And what Roncalli needs to do in defense, they're going to have to try to do some stunts to disrupt the flow of the Norwell Knights offense. As we get another look at the fans right there, they're going to have to find a way to disrupt what's going on inside and decide that we're going to stop the Shoreburns brothers. If they do that, then they're going to make Norwell pass the football.
Second down and 10 yards to go. Hanselman, a long count. Now the pitch. This is Nagel. Gets tripped up. Nice job as Lowry found his way over to Nagel. And Nagel, who has that good outside speed, is stopped in the play. No gain.
And we'll see from this replay. This is exactly what I'm talking about. It's just a straight stunt by the defensive end and the linebackers. They loop around, which allows number 88, Nate Lowry, to get up the field and make the tackle, and that's what Roncalli needs to do. They need to stunt the inside and scrape the linebackers to disrupt this offense.
They're going to call it a loss in the play. Brad Sorgan, he's stopped. So a couple of nice defensive plays by Roncalli, going to force a punting situation.
Great job there, right on cue. Number 11 for Roncalli, Harrington. He just scraped to the right, made the tackle, and now they're forcing Norwell to punt, as we'll see on this replay. It's a good job by him scraping on the left on this run right here. Gets upfield, beats number 14 inside, makes the tackle, and you got to think Roncalli's going to get very good field position after this punt.
Neuenschwander back to punt. He has been injured. And this ball will go Roncalli's way, touched at the 40-yard line. And Roncalli will be in good shape here, trailing by a touchdown, a 25-yard punt.
Well, good defensive stand for Roncalli, and their fans are letting their defense know, hey, we appreciate your effort. So what Roncalli's offense needs to do right now, though, is take this momentum and get a touchdown on the board.
Service Pipe and Supply wants to give you the best service possible, and that's proven by the name. They're a Ridge Tool, Porter Cable, Aguamatic, and pipe valve and fitting distributor. Service Pipe and Supply, 302 South New Jersey, downtown Indianapolis. For commercial and retail, call 639-9308. Roncalli, 6:09 left to go here in the third quarter. The pitch. And some running room that time. Not a whole lot, but you know what? They'll take what they can get right now.
And great kick-out block there by number 34, John Heiss. And Roncalli now is going back to what got them here to the dome. Run the ball out wide, cut outside the kick-out block, as we see right here. Great block by Heiss right there. Allows Schembra to get up the field and get positive yardage. They need to go back to that and stay with it and not be frustrated when Norwell makes a good play.
Well, Schembra, 1,600 yards coming into the game. You got to believe that this guy can take you to that next step. Good pickup. Second down and 5, facing the Rebels. Schembra to the 30-yard line and very close to the first down. It appears as though he has it.
And momentum is starting to shift right now in this game. Roncalli's doing a good job up front of setting the tone and creating the holes. And Schembra, having the great vision that he has at tailback, he's just going to find the holes, as we see here in this replay. A good interior block by number 54. Schembra breaks a tackle by number 17 for Norwell and gets up the field and gets positive yardage. It looks like he may be close to that first down as they bring out the chains.
Well, it looks from this vantage point that he has the first down, but we'll wait and see. 14-7 the score. The Methodist Sports Medicine Center scoreboard here from the RCA Dome in Indianapolis. There's the mark. Ooh.
Doesn't get any closer than that.
A couple of Charles Stafford whiskers.
It doesn't get any closer to that, and I got to believe that they're either going to give the ball to Schembra or this quarterback sneak. You don't want to start the play too far in the backfield and allow penetration by the defense.
Indianapolis Cathedral and Goshen coming up next. Right here as we cover the Indiana High School State Finals on the LaCie Broadcasting Network.
Roncalli 1 out of 6 on third down, so it's not a given that they're going to get this. But you got to believe with just that much to go, the big boys up front can get this done, Craig.
Hyde making sure that his team is prepared for this big play. At the 30-yard line, inches from a first down. And the pitch. Schembra has it. Tom Schembra on a first down.
Great balance by Schembra. It looked like he was tripped up in the backfield, but he did a good job of keeping his knees off the turf and lunging for the first down. So that's what you expect from your great athletes. And when you need a big play, you give the ball to the person who got you to the party. And he did a good job right there.
Well, how often do you see a pitch with inches to go for a first down? Well, that's confidence in Schembra. And the stop made by Matthew Best.
And that last carry will make Schembra 13 carries for 78 yards. So he's well on pace to maintaining his average of 114 a game.
Schembra takes a pop and then spins forward for another couple of yards down to the 25-yard line. Schembra getting a lot of calls here, as you might expect, representing about 60% of this offense for Roncalli.
And when Schembra goes well, so does the Roncalli offense, but he has to have his touches. He actually gets stronger as the game progresses, so just because he might not have a lot of yards on his 13th or 14th carry, by the time he gets to his 25th and 30th carry, he's putting on the heat on the defensive team.
2nd down and 7. A man in motion. Hyde on the pitch. Schembra makes a cut down to the 23-yard line. Schembra adept at making a quick cut, as we saw in the first half with that touchdown run.
And that's his game. He likes to go outside, force the corner, and run underneath that kickout block of John Hyde, as we'll see right here, coming from this angle. 34, John does a great job of getting his shoulders outside, taking on the defender, which allows Schembra to get the 3 to 5 yards that he needs per carry. And when Roncalli establishes this, eats the clock up with 3:40 left here in this third quarter, they're hard to stop.
3rd down and 5. The ball at the 23-yard line of Norwell. Schembra, running room. He was hit and kept on running. 15-yard line and a first down.
Tackle by number 45, Ryan Carr. And what's happening right now is Roncalli is wearing down the Knights defense. And they're running at him every play with a 6'1", 176-pound running back. That's going to start to wear on you when you get those big guys underneath, putting up pressure up on you every play. As you see here, just a good job accelerating through the hole, making a spin, getting positive yardage. And Roncalli's going to have to put this ball in the end zone if they want to make the ultimate statement.
Schembra now up over 80 yards. 8 yards on the last carry. Now first down and 10 from the 15. Roncalli knocking at the door, trailing by a touchdown. Schembra brought down from behind. Ryan Gerbers the stop for Norwell.
And I've been waiting to see Norwell actually put some stunts in right now. They're allowing Roncalli just to sweep the ball each play. And the way you stop it is you run a slant on the defensive line and then have your linebackers come from behind to take away the cutback. And that'll force Schembra to come back inside to the pursuit and hopefully nullify the play. So look for Norwell to start stunning a little bit more on defense, bringing their linebackers up to the line of scrimmage more.
Second down and 9. Hyde to Schembra. Derailed. Boy, what a nice play there by Matthew Best. Submarined him.
Yes, he did, and that was indicative of the defense that I'm talking about. They brought the linebackers up to the line of scrimmage and then took the end, ran him up the field to force the sweep inside. And once you do that, you don't allow any running room for Schembra, as we'll see here. The end forces the play up inside, which is his job, right into the linebackers, whose job is to make that sure tackle. So great execution by Norwell. Big third down coming up, Craig.
The 9th play of this drive. Hyde fakes. Great protection. And now being swarmed by Norwell. He had a man open. He had the good protection, but you only have just a little bit of time. And Norwell takes advantage.
And that's one of the few times that Hyde, the quarterback from Roncalli, missed his man. He had number 88, Nate Lowry, right open in the flat. He didn't have anyone in front of him. He probably could have walked into the end zone, as we'll see here in this replay. It's kind of hard to see up top right now, but he has it, man. You see his legs right there, open for a fraction of a second, which was long enough, but when he didn't pass the ball, he allowed the pursuit to come in, and that's going to stall this drive.
A loss of 9 and a field goal situation facing Roncalli. A 37-yard field goal. It is long enough, and it is good. Nice toe. And we've got a closer game. The Knights on top, 14-10. As coverage of the Indiana High School State Finals continues on the LaCie Broadcasting Network.
And we're back at the RCA Dome 3A State Championship, where Michael Keefe has just put Roncalli 3 more points on the board with a 37-yard field goal, which had distance for at least 10 more yards, Craig.
Well, and that was into the wind, too. The air conditioning here at the RCA Dome.
And that's the first field goal we've seen here in our broadcast that didn't hit the goalpost. So I'm kind of happy that that one had a little leg room left over.
Roncalli, they feel as though they're back into this thing. Yes, we are. And we want the Rebels to win as the crowd gets behind now the kickoff. This is Rojas. Both Sorgen's back. At the 11-yard line comes Brent Sorgen across the 30. And a nice return for the senior up to the 34-yard line. American Wholesale Furniture wants to wish the Rebels good luck in the state championship game. American Wholesale Furniture and Roncalli High School, 2 great traditions. Go Rebels.
25-yard return on that kickoff by the Sorgen. And what Norwell needs to do is pretty much what they were able to do in the first half. Just keep their composure and get the ball upfield.
Roncalli scoring drive, 5 minutes, 15 seconds, 10 plays. Capped off by the O'Keefe field goal. Nagel, the man in motion. Sorgen straight up the middle. And, well, maybe 2 yards, 3 possibly for Brad Sorgen. Armbruster on the stop. Boy, he's been a big one all season long for Roncalli, leading the team in tackles coming in.
And I'm looking to see Norwell now try to open it up a little bit, maybe mix in some passing plays, which they were very successful in the first half, because right now their offense is starting to stall out a little bit.
At the 37, second down and 7. Loose ball. Quarterback Hanselman falls on it. Boy, that's a heads-up play.
And that looks like it might be the last play of the third quarter.
And that will be the end of the third quarter. Well, it was a touchdown lead for Norwell at halftime. Roncalli has scored in the third quarter, and it's getting a little bit tighter. 14-10 the score, as our coverage of Indiana High School State Finals continues on the LaCie Broadcasting Network.
Team of 10 on Roncalli, and the Roncalli fans are excited about this third down coming up for Norwell.
They're excited because it's a big play, and they're into the last quarter. Hanselman finds his tight end. That has been a great combination all season long. Hanselman to Best, the 6'4" junior, and a huge play there and a first down.
Now that's a big-time call there on third down. You need at least 8 yards. And what do? They play action pass, get Best outside, and he makes a fantastic catch there. And you look like he paid for it as well.
Yeah, he's going to stay in the game. He's not coming up, but he's hurting. What a huge call by Gary Scott. This team has faced adversity. They've faced the challenge of Roncalli, and they've answered more times than not so far. Sorgen gets across midfield. Brent Sorgen on the carry.
And I would like to see Norwell now on second down mix in the play action pass. It's a lot easier to pass the ball successfully when you mix it in on downs that aren't typically going to be an obvious passing down. So they need to go back to what they did earlier in the game. As you see here on this replay, it's just a straight dive to number 30, Newsenwander, who hasn't seen the ball too much today. So that is shocking nonetheless, but you want to see them get back to some play action pass and get the ball on the corners.
You're right about that. Newsenwander was the carry. 6'1" senior did not play in the semi-state win last week over the Marion Knights. He was injured. And pushed back is Brent Sorgen. A loss on the play. Great pursuit by Augusta.
And great individual effort by number 77, Zach Conover, 6 foot, 292. And you'll see here, he just beats his man up front and bullets right in and meets meets them right there in the hole, and you can't ask for anything better from a nose guard. That's what their job is. Take on the center and get in the backfield and make a great play. Hanselman right now is 5 for 6 for 67 yards. Best 3 catches for 36 yards. And look to see Best get involved in this play right here.
3rd down and 8. Another big play coming up. Hanselman out of some traffic, fires in the run, finds his receiver, going to be short of the 1st down. He did a good job to get it out to Hirely, but short of the 1st down.
And that's going to be a holding on Norwell. I didn't see the flag thrown and still don't actually, but I guess they threw the flag somewhere. And it looks like right here, we should be able to pick it up right here. Number 66 makes the tackle right there. And I didn't see where they would have called that a holding, but that must be where they called it, Craig.
Possibly. The penalties thus far have gone against Roncalli for the most part. This one will be marked off against Norwell. And with 10:03 left to go, it does seem like the possession.
Holding on the offense. Repeat 3rd down.
You see the call. The possession, the momentum actually going against Norwell.
And that's a big penalty right there, because you got to believe that Norwell was going to go for it on 4th down. They would have had a 4th and 3. Now they're looking at a 3rd and at least 18 to 20 yards, and that's not as easy to get as a 4th and 3, believe it or not.
3rd and close to 20. Matthew Hanselman, a short drop, fires toward the near sideline,
Pass
and
interference.
incomplete, and we see no flag. It looked like Best was under some pressure. There could have been a touch by Roncalli, but nothing called.
And the referee must have believed that the ball was not catchable, but you got to think anytime you got a defensive back as tackles the receiver, as we'll see here, a pretty nice looking ball by Hanselman, and it looked like there was some contact late in this play. Yeah, and it looks like he was tackled right there, and I tell you what, the fans do agree with that.
That ball was catchable, I believe, and Roncalli got away with one.
Great punt.
Oh, awesome punt. Down to the 15-yard line. Here comes Hammonds. A flag on the play at the 29-yard line. Hammonds returns it for 2 yards on the play, and we'll check out the penalty.
That's a 46-yard punt, and normally when you see a penalty on a punt, it's either a clipping or a clipping. You normally only get clipping, Craig.
A clipping or a clipping. Hey, you were right on the first one. It was a clipping. When your job requires quality and precise results, you can depend on Conover Custom Fabrication. They take pride in what they do in the stainless steel fabricating industry. Whether large or small, complicated or simple, every job is important to them. They've been involved with fabrication for Conseco Fieldhouse and the RCA Dome. And this is the site of yet another Indiana High School state final.
And we see right there, there's a clip right there. It looked like a number 11, clipping number 46, who got up the field, and that would be Jim Harrington. So that's not what you want on a return, but a lot of times you get players that get a little overexcited and they're not able to stop. And when they do that, they incidentally make a clip, and that's going to put Roncalli back in their own end deep.
As if they needed more adversity. Hyde, the quarterback, standing at his own 9-yard line. Hammonds. He's got to have probably the best speed on this team.
Yeah, he's shown it today for a pickup of 18 yards. And if you get a replay, you'll see that there's a great block inside by the interior lineman who springs that run. And anytime you get long runs of 18 yards or 20, you're going to know there's some great blocking going on. As you see right here, right there by number 61, gets a great block inside. And number 55 does a good job of getting the ball up the field and allowing his running back to have a caravan of runners right in front of him.
Matt Hanselman, the man who finally caught up with Hammonds. A gain of 17, 1st down and 10 at the 26-yard line. Roncalli trailing by 4. Hyde looks left, and I believe it skipped into the intended receiver, Williams. Incomplete. And a good call by the official.
And that ball was knocked down at the defensive line as well, so that ball was tipped. Good effort there by number 14, Mike Williams, trying to catch that pass. we look at Hyde and what he's done today after this replay right here and see if that pass was actually caught. A good setup by Hyde. The ball was tipped, and actually the ball did get through there. So Hyde is 5 of 9 now for 25 yards. Schembra, 99 yards, 5.2 yard average. So his next yard will put him over the century mark a little bit before the rest of us.
And Schembra quiet here so far. Hyde finds his receiver. And a first down, it appears, depending on the mark. Hyde with a good job to get it out over the middle.
And Hyde's done a good job of picking his chances and completing very good passes where only the receiver can catch the ball. As we'll see here, he does a good job of pointing at his target and having a good strike to Elijah. And Elijah's having a good day here. He already has 5 carries for 62 yards, and he's had a lot of nice catches as well.
Hammonds with a first down. Clock stop. 9:09 left to go in regulation. Bob Rohrman's Indy Motor Works is the largest Hyundai, Suzuki, and Isuzu dealer in Indiana, located at 8445 US 31 South. The phone number is 317-885-1000. That's Bob Rohrman's Indy Motor Works.
And we got a good shot at Gary Scott a second ago, and he's got to be concerned right now. His Norwell team has not really been up to the task here in the second half, and we're seeing the experience of Roncalli shine right now.
Schembra now drops into the slot on first down and 10. Hyde looks that way.
He's got him open.
Schembra caught the 33-yard line. 15-10. Touchdown.
63 yards on the catch for Schembra, and that's what you want. And that's what you got to have. And there is a flag on the field, so that might be coming back here, Craig. Must be a holding where the flag is.
Schembra lined up in the slot. As we've said before, the penalty against Norwell, so the touchdown will stand. Hyde likes going to Schembra.
Yes, he does, and it's uncharacteristic that you see that type of infraction that deep in the backfield, but great recognition by Hyde, the quarterback, finding Schembra, identifying that he did have man-on-man coverage with the linebacker, and when you got a guy with Schembra's speed, a linebacker is going to be a mismatch.
Pass interference.
And now O'Keefe in to attempt the point after.
Declined. Touchdown.
And before the point after, Roncalli wants to talk it over. Could they be thinking about a 2-point conversion?
Well, right now at this point, if they go for 2, they'll be up 18-14 and force Norwell to have to go for 2. As we'll see here on this replay, great pass by the quarterback Hyde, and Schembra does a great job right here of avoiding the tackle and getting into the end zone, reminiscent of Billy Sims from the old Detroit Lions with the kickoff right there. But back to the point of why they would go for 2. That would put them up 18-14. Thus, Norwell would have to score twice with a touchdown to be able to take this lead versus tying the game with the field goal. So, big decision here. But if you don't get the 2-point conversion, now you're down by 2, and a field goal will win the game. So, this is going to be a big call for the Coach Cyphers.
The Rebels' first lead since they scored first in the ball game. Norwell now defending against the 2-point conversion. Nope, they're going to go for the point after as O'Keefe remains in the game.
And that is the smart decision right now. You don't want to put yourself in a position where you can lose the game. Live with the tie right now, and the tie can always take it to another quarter.
And Roncalli up by a score of 17-14. Our Methodist Sports Medicine Center scoreboard favors the Rebels. Scoring drive of 57 seconds, took only 4 plays. Back in a moment. Coverage of the Indiana High School State Finals on the C Broadcasting Network.
And Roncalli Rebels are back in this ball game, up 17-14 over Norwell Knights. And Craig, momentum has definitely shifted this second half.
Roncalli keeping their composure, although down at halftime. Again, just kind of relying on what got them here, and that has been the play of their quarterback Hyde and their running back Schembra, who broke out of the backfield actually in the slot position for the touchdown pass.
Right, and I got to believe that Norwell has some plays that they haven't called. They've been saving for this type of situation that they're going to showcase here in this drive. Very important drive for Norwell right here.
Rojas setting the kickoff. Brent Sorgen.
That's a great kicker's name.
Yes, I love it. Brent takes it at the 11-yard line. Sorgen up to the 26-yard line. Service Pipe and Supply wants to give you the best service possible, and that's proven by the name. They are a Ridge Tool, Porter Cable, Aquamatic, and pipe, valve, and fitting distributor. Service Pipe and Supply, 302 South New Jersey, downtown Indianapolis. For commercial and retail, call 639-9308.
Well, by no means is Norwell out of this football game, so they got to just come out of here. They got 8 minutes, 37 seconds left in the fourth quarter. More than enough time to get a touchdown on the board.
Hanselman on the keeper. Got as far as the 29-yard line and then spun backward. Forward progress will be marked at the 30.
And Brad and Brent Sorgen have kind of been quiet in the second half. Brad has 14 carries for 68 total yards. Brent, 11 carries for 32 total yards. And they've been kind of quiet. The first half, they were able to get outside and threaten the secondary of Roncalli. But Roncalli's defense has woken up and said, hey, enough is enough.
Pickup of 3. Second down, 7 from the 30-yard line. Norwell's first trip to the state finals. The closest game of the tournament so far. And this is Brent Sorgen, who gets to the 35-yard line. Going to be a couple yards short of the first down.
You get a good look at the Norwell fans. They got to be happy that they're here, but their players believe that they can actually take the trophy back home. So they're not just satisfied with being at their first state championship. They want to take the hardware with them.
Norwell out of Ossian in Wells County. Enrollment of 854 in 4 grades. Third down and 2.
And Norwell 3 of 9 on third down. So it's a big play for them.
Oh, look at that. Brent Sorgen did a nice job of lead blocking for his brother Brad. And Brad Sorgen, a first down for the Knights.
And that was a big play for them. They need to keep this drive alive and sustain the drive. They really haven't sustained the drive since their last touchdown of the first half, as we'll see here. It's just a matter of their linemen up front beating Roncalli's defensive line. And Sorgen just puts his shoulders down, runs behind his brother's block, and moves the chains. So they got to continue to do that and solidify this running game here in this last drive.
Second man through, Nagel, who has carried the ball a bit infrequently here today. It seems when he does get the call, he does make something of it. This time a short pickup.
Yeah, good job by the interior lineman for Roncalli. It looks like number 35 for Roncalli might have been shooken up, Greg Armbruster, but he's staying in the game. Being the big linebacker that he is, I think the referee's going to make him go out right now.
Hanselman directing his team with 6:42 left to go in regulation. A 3-point margin. Roncalli on top. So we look at our Methodist Sports Medicine Center scoreboard. Second down and 9 from the 42-yard line of the Knights. A short drop over the middle. Actually a slant play and dropped at the 50-yard line. Some pressure there, and Sorgen couldn't hang on.
Good defensive play by Mark Mahan on the pass play as well. So he did a good job of beating Sorgen to the ball. And when you do that, now you're the receiver. Now he has to play defense and knock the ball away from you. As we'll see on this replay, it's a 3-step drop. Hanselman looks. He had to get the pass around the defender up in front of the line. And great defensive secondary play by Mahan, number 40. Looks like Roncalli's trying to call a timeout right here.
With third down and 9 facing Hanselman and Norwell. And a timeout is called. And you're right by Roncalli. 6:31 to go. The Knights on top. Check that. The Rebels on top. 17-14 on the Methodist Sports Medicine Center scoreboard. Back in a moment on the LaCie Broadcasting Network.
And we're back at the RCA Dome. Big third down here for Norwell Knights. Fourth quarter, score is 17-14 Roncalli. 6:31 left. Here we go, Craig.
Third and 9. Hanselman overthrows his intended receiver at the 44-yard line. He had a man out there. That was Hirely. At 6'4", pretty good target, but that pass obviously overthrown.
And on fourth down, they're going to have to punt. I don't know how confident you're going to feel if you're Gary Scott, the Norwell coach. You want to get this play completed. Just a pass that got away from the quarterback, and they're going to kick the ball off to a Roncalli team that can literally hold the ball for the rest of the game.
Neuenschwander, the punter, comes down to the 23-yard line. And a short return, but Roncalli will get it thanks to Hammonds. Elijah Hammonds. And a 37-yard punt.
And that's right on cue for Mike Williams. He's averaged 37.3 yards a punt for the game. So he's done a good job of keeping Norwell in the game as far as field position for Roncalli.
Well, here's a great tip for holiday shopping, Charles. Get into Galleons. Galleons has all the best gift ideas for everyone on your list, and the friendly, knowledgeable staff to help you find those gifts fast. Count on them. Galleons. Roncalli on top, 17-14, 6:16 left to go here in the 3A state final. And the Rebels will try to use that clock a little bit. They need to get a few first downs, obviously. Still plenty of time.
John Heiss, number 34 on that last play. And really that's, once again, just to keep the clock going. They thought they might be able to sneak the fullback in. He doesn't get the ball a lot during the regular season, but he has a decent average when he does get the ball. So not a bad play call there. And the clock now is not the asset of the Norwell Knights.
Hollowell with a play in from the sideline.
Hyde on the day, 7 of 11 for 99 yards and 1 touchdown. A big play going to Chambra on that long touchdown pass.
Very effective. 2nd down and 9. And caught. My goodness, Chambra did bring that one in, but that was nearly intercepted.
Very dangerous pass there by Hyde. One of his decisions today that you really have to question. Everything else he's done up to this point has been flawless, though. But luckily that he had Chambra there. Chambra made a great play, and the defender just missed the ball, as we'll see here. It was a screen set up. The screen wasn't there. Chambra got up the field, and Hyde just showed a lot of arm strength and got the pass up in there. So good play by Hyde, great catch by Chambra. And now we got a 3rd down, short 3rd down at that.
3rd and 3 from the 34-yard line. The pitch, 1st down and more. A nice cut and a huge run on 3rd down. Down to about the 37-yard line for Tom Chambra, up over 100 yards.
And that's going to put him over the century mark. He now has 20 carries for an even 129. And it's even to me because it's getting Roncalli even with Norwell, as we'll see here on this last run. Great job showing patience, using his blockers, getting up the field and tiptoeing the sideline right there. Stays in bounds, makes another move. He does a great job cutting on this turf and gets the 30-yard gain. So he's having a great day right now. Almost 200 yards total offense for him on the day.
Chambra, a nice combination of speed, wisdom to follow his blocking, and great leadership. Roncalli knocking at the door. Chambra bottled up. Nothing there. Norwell responding nicely. And the Knights ready with Hoopengarner.
6 foot 188. Good fullback. Definitely good defensive back here if you look at him up close. A good sized player as well. He's going to be someone who might be able to play on the next level because of his size and athletic ability. But as we see here, just beats his man up front, and he's there to make the tackle. Good penetration also by number 71 for Norwell.
A loss of 2 on the play. 2nd down and 12 at the 39-yard line of the Knights. A big hole down to the 26-yard line for Chambra. And that should be another 1st down. Going to be very close.
Looks like it might be number 63, I believe, injured on the play for Norwell. As we look at this play right here. Good job by Chambra showing patience and utilizing Hyde's block. How many times do you see a quarterback make as many blocks as Hyde does? He does a fantastic job of doing that.
This injury timeout is sponsored by Methodist Sports Medicine Center in partnership with Clarion Health. When you're injured in sports, at work or at play, Methodist Sports Medicine brings you the best results. Trust Indiana's most experienced sports medicine team. Methodist Sports Center, we keep you in the game.
Get a good look at the coach for Roncalli, Bruce Cyphers. He's got to be happy with the output of his team here in the 2nd half. And Roncalli looks like for number 73 is down for Norwell. I stand corrected on that. That would be Zachary Mates, and he is getting up on his own strength and getting off the field, so that's good to see.
6'2", 316, Mapes working hard for the Norwell Knights. Good to see him walk off under his own power.
And Roncalli right now is doing what you would have thought they would have came out doing in the first half as the chains come out for a measurement. They're establishing the running game and essentially wearing down Norwell Knights, who came out strong in the first half, but maybe they're just kind of running out of gas right now, Craig.
Well, Roncalli has seen a lot this year. And there you see the mark, and it's a first down. Probably most impressive, Charles, of the Roncalli season, in my humble estimation, was the game they played against Cincinnati Moeller.
Right, and I got to believe once they won that game, they really came together as a team and believed that they did deserve to be here at this championship, and they knew that they could get there. You don't go into Cincinnati Moeller being a 3A team, not even being a 5A team, and expect to win. They did a great job, and they're being rewarded right now being at the 3A championship game.
First down and 10 from the 27-yard line. Hyde with a long count. Shembra cuts across the 25, 20, 15, 10. On his way, touchdown! Tom Shembra.
27 yards.
A flag on the play, and we'll have to check it out. This one could be called back.
27-yard touchdown if it stands.
Ooh, a holding call against Roncalli.
That's the kind of execution that you want if you're Roncalli. Great job, and you got to feel for Bruce Cyphers. He's like, what do I have to do to get a break in this game?
Holding on the offense. First down.
Well, I don't know if we will be able to see this or not, but even with the hold, this is a nice run.
Right. Well, if anything, it looks like the holding may come, you know, from that angle, we really couldn't get a good picture of it, but great individual effort by Shembra, and if that touchdown would have held, it would have loomed a little large for Norwell Knights. As we get another look at it, can't pick it up yet, but it looks like number 11 might have been held the way he came off on that side of the screen, but it's kind of hard to see who might have been guilty of the infraction. So it's going to bring it back here and still give him first down in a pretty good position.
At the 15-yard line, first down and 10. Roncalli with the lead. 3:35 remaining in regulation. Shembra following his blocking down to the 7-yard line. Shembra, a workhorse here today, stopped by Ryan Carr.
And this game, if Roncalli does come back and win this, was really one up front. The offensive line has done a phenomenal job the second half, and they've set the tone for the offense. And you look at Shembra, 205 total yards, 2 touchdowns, and that's the kind of day that you want. A very good day for Shembra. A very good day. As we'll see here on this replay, he's going to come out and go behind the block of John Heiss, number 34. He sneaks inside and gets positive yardage. It's a good play.
Hanselman helping out Carr on the stop. Shembra gets the ball again. Gets some contact at the 6-yard line and is pushed out of bounds. Hanselman playing a tough defensive game as well as quarterbacking this very good, talented Norwell team.
And the only thing that was bad on that play for Roncalli is Shembra actually went out of bounds and it stops the clock. So Roncalli wants this clock to continue to run, as we'll see here with 2:47 left. Roncalli needs the clock to continue to run, and they can go home with the hardware. But good job by Shembra getting outside, following his blockers, and lowering his shoulder. And I like that from a running back. You got to finish the run. One thing I know Walter Payton used to do wonderfully when he played back in his heyday was he finished all the runs. And that's what you saw right there from Shembra.
3rd and a yard. 7-yard line. And a timeout for Roncalli. And we'll keep it right here. And a little program reminder that coming up, a 3:30 scheduled start. It'll be the 4A championship. Facing the Goshen Redskins will be the Indianapolis Cathedral Fighting Irish, a team that we saw here last year, Charles.
Yes, we did.
They are here quite often, and boy, what a season they've had.
Right, in the 5A game, we bring out Penn versus Ben Davis at 7 o'clock live here in Indiana and South Bend, and that's going to be a phenomenal game as well. You got to love the progression of football that we see from class to class. across the board, we're getting phenomenal athletes, great plays, and we're getting some close games and some big games, but nonetheless, we're getting entertained regardless.
Well, it's been a great couple of days of football. Lafayette Central, the 1A winner. Lafayette Central Catholic 59, Perry Central 7. 2A, Lures over Danville 38-6. This is the closest game so far.
That's right, and if Roncalli is able to pull this off, we'll see the second team win a state championship going through the year undefeated, as we saw with Lafayette Central Catholic yesterday as well. So a great accomplishment if Roncalli can hold on to this game and win.
3rd and a yard. Shebra gets the call, gets the first down, and a touchdown. Tom Shebra denied earlier because of the infraction, the hold, but not to be denied this time with 2:42 in regulation.
Great blocking up front. That was it. I mean, Shebra could have walked into the end zone backwards with the great block that he got from his front line and his fullback. And you get a good look at Shebra right there. He's been the workhorse. He's the one that got him here, got Roncalli here this year, but he hasn't done it alone. It's been a team effort, and that's one thing you hear preached from Roncalli. It's all about team.
It's all about team, and boy, all about defense. Roncalli has shut down Norwell here in the second half. Now O'Keefe on to attempt the point after. It's perfect. And the Rebels on a roll. 2:42 remaining in the fourth quarter. Roncalli 24. The Knights 14 on the Methodist Sports Medicine Center scoreboard.
And as we'll see right here, great block by number 34, the fullback. He gets wonderful blocking up front. And number 15, Hyde, the quarterback, how many times have we mentioned his name blocking? As we'll see right here, he pitches the ball, is quick enough to get upfield, and makes the last block with number 11, Hanselman, quarterback to quarterback, to spring his running back in for the touchdown. So great effort all the way around if you look at Roncalli. From the lineman to the quarterback to the running back, they've had a team effort, and they look very good to take the hardware home.
Everybody wins when no one cares who gets the credit, and that is an old cliche, but it is a total team effort. Roncalli proving that they're every bit as good as any other team here in 3A.
And that's right. They got 9 plays in that last drive, 3 minutes and 34 seconds, 73 yards, and you got to feel good if you're a Shebra fan. 26 carries, 175 yards, 4 receptions, 67 yards. Every time he touches the ball, he's getting 10 yards a pop regardless. So you got to love it if you're a fan of Shebra. He's shown up today, and great players show up, Craig, in big games.
And they come up with the big plays. We've seen some big running plays by Roncalli. And they'll squib it down to the 24. One of the up guys. And Carr brings up over the 35 to about the 38-yard line. So Ryan Carr has his Norwell Knights with 2:34 remaining, trailing by 10.
And when you look at Roncalli, as we said earlier, they've been here before, and they have a habit of going to championships back-to-back. So I recall back in '88, they won the championship, came back '89, they were runner-up. So this looms large for them to win this championship because they normally do it in twos.
Quarterback fakes. Hanselman has his man out there. This is Brad Sorgen to midfield to the 50-yard line.
And the only thing he didn't do there, if you're the coach, you want him to get out of bounds because the clock is going to continue to run with 2:25 remaining. They need the clock to stop, and they need positive yardage. As we'll see here on this replay, good patience by Hanselman, waiting for the play to develop. And once he finds his receiver, Sorgen, he's got to get out of bounds.
Pick up a 13. Hanselman fires, and a little long at the 10-yard line over the extended hands of Landon Hirely, who has been rather quiet here today.
And Hanselman's had a great day. He's 7 of 10 now for 80 yards, which is pretty good production from a high school quarterback. It just so happened that Roncalli has shut down the run, and now they're forcing him in the passing situation.
Well, that pass, had it been out there, would have connected with Hirely, it appeared. But now a second down and 10 from the 49. Hanselman sets up the screen nicely. This is Brad Sorgen. Across the 45, hit at the 44, still moving forward and popped out of bounds, which is good. Norwell out of bounds, stopping the clock with 2:04 left to go here in regulation.
Slow developing play, but good job by Sorgan, having patience, allowing his blockers who timed the blocks actually very well as slow as that play developed. Got positive yardage, and now they're in a 3rd down and 3, which is a lot more manageable than 3rd down and 15. So, as we'll see here, good job by the quarterback, Hanselman, getting the ball over the defender's hands, and Sorgan getting up the field, allowing his blocks to develop, and getting positive yardage. So, they need to get a quick score here, though, Craig, if they're going to get back in this ball game.
Staley and Williams on the stop. Hanselman gives Sorgan. This is Brad. He picks up what appears to be enough for the 1st down.
And you got to get the 1st down to keep the drive alive, but it looks like the referee is going to bring out the chains. They are going to give him the 1st down.
1:58 to go. Norwell needs to strike and then hope for a chance to get the ball back. They need 2 scores. These fans from the north have not been disappointed in the effort of the Knights. They've played a great game.
Yes, they had a great game plan, and right now they're just coming up against a Roncalli team and showing why they're #1 in the state.
And Hanselman dropped to his backside. Extreme pressure from Roncalli.
Like that was Jim Harrington on the pressure, and that was just a stunt. Right now, Roncalli understands that Norwell has to throw the football. So now that they have him in a passing situation, they can afford to bring the linebackers, bring the corner, and put more pressure on the quarterback and force him to make mistakes. As you see right here, Harrington just unblocked, and number 11 meets number 11 in the backfield.
1:39 left to go. Hanselman under pressure, almost intercepted. In and out of the hands of the linebacker, Mike Harris.
And great pressure by number 58, Ryan Brizendine. And that's what you see from great teams. They got Norwell reeling now. So what do? They pin back their heads, and they come at them full force. And great pressure, and almost an interception that would have closed this game out.
Roncalli in the driver's seat, no question. 3rd down and 10 from the 38-yard line. Hanselman again under pressure, dropped. Hanselman with a swarming defensive Roncalli at the 34-yard line. Make that the 46-yard line.
It looks like Norwell's going to call a timeout because they have to get a 1st down now. They're in a 4th down situation because of plays like this. Roncalli's just telling their players, look, you're a minute and 25 seconds away. Go after it like there is no tomorrow, because as far as they're concerned, there isn't, and then take this championship home. So you got to feel good when you have a team on their heels, and now what you're doing is you're trying to put them away.
Roncalli, no stranger to the state finals. They have won twice. In 1993 as a 3A team, in 1994 as 3A. Semi-state wins, 3 there. Regionals, they've won 4 in their illustrious history. 5 sectional wins dating back to 1993. And a team that has overcome some early problems. In fact, all game long, Charles, they've been bothered by the penalty, but it doesn't seem to have bothered them down the stretch run.
No, it does not. And when you're a great team, you find a way to make something happen. And their fans are excited right now because this 4th down is going to be the game right here.
This is it. 4th and 17. Hanselman gets good protection this time. Lets it fly. It's caught and out of bounds at the 26-yard line, and a 1st down. And how many times, Charles, have we seen both these teams come up big in 3rd and 4th down situations?
You got to tip your hat off to Gary Scott. I mean, he's calling a phenomenal game, and he always seems to have that 4th down and 20 play called someplace in his repertoire. And a great pass by Hanselman. Does a good job of putting a strike to number 44, Matthew Best. And Matthew Best has been the best so far catching this ball for Norwell. 19 yards on the reception by Best. Double receivers to the right. Hanselman looks that way. And it is intercepted. And he might be gone here, Craig.
Mike Williams makes a cut and trips as he gets inside Norwell territory.
And that's going to officially close this game out with a minute and 4 left. All Roncalli has to do now is sit on the ball, and Mike Williams is one of the happiest guys right now in this entire stadium, Craig.
Well, there's no doubt Norwell in a passing situation, double coverage deep. Williams picks it off.
and there's not too much you can do there. It's just you have to keep going to the well because Best has been your best receiver. And unfortunately, Roncalli has realized that too. They double covered him, and there's nothing they could do but throw the interception. And you got to tip your hat off to Norwell. They came out here today representing the North for 3A. They've had a good game, had a very good game plan, but just ran into a better football team than Roncalli.
Well, if this game were played in 3 quarters, Norwell would be the winner here today.
That's why they say you got to play offense.
Now some new faces in there. Richie Naley gets the carry. A 5'11" junior. And not a whole lot Norwell can do. Inside a minute to play from the RCA Dome. And Norwell's first trip here to the Dome, not a success, but boy, look at the season they've had to get here.
And going back to that history for Roncalli, I know one of the players on the team, Jonathan Heiss, number 34, his brother actually won a championship with Roncalli back in '88. So you're talking about a family understanding of what it means to get championships at Roncalli. You got to love that. And I've been fortunate enough myself, Craig, to actually marry into the family, hopefully sometime next year. So I've asked his sister to actually marry me. So I've been lucky that I'm going to hopefully be able to at least see a ring, although I've never won a ring.
That's good, Charles. Congratulations.
Well, thank you so much.
A bit of a break here at the RCA Dome. Roncalli. They just kept fighting back with Norwell striking with unanswered touchdowns in the first half to take the lead. And boy, the beginning of the 3rd quarter really kind of tells the story. And that's when Roncalli came out with an attitude and didn't get the touchdown they were looking for. They did get the field goal, and it kind of spelled the end of Norwell's attempt here to hang on in the state finals.
And you got to believe going into halftime, Coach Cypher said, look, we got to find a way to get back to what we do best. And Roncalli responded, and they're going to congratulate their coach with a championship here. Another championship at that.
Marcus Naley. Naley brothers, the cousins. Boy, got everybody down there. This is a family affair. The Knights have nothing to be ashamed of. Roncalli will be the proud winner here today. Whoa, what a season they've had.
A perfect season on tap for Roncalli. And you can't ask for anything other than that. 15 wins in one season. You top it off with a championship, and perfection is nice. But it's even sweeter when you get something around your neck saying, look, we did this.
Well, they may not have put up the points that they're capable of putting up, but that is a tribute to this Norwell team, who have played a very solid defensive game.
Yeah, Norwell has played a very good game. They stuck to the game plan, and once again, it just so happened that they've met a better team today, but they should not feel bad at all. They came out here and represented the north part of this state tremendously, and should be looked to be back again next year, hopefully.
The quarterback still in there. Pitches to Naley, who is nailed, and that should do it. The Rebels knocking off Norwell from the north. It's been a good long run for the Knights, but it stops in Indianapolis. And that is it. It's official. Roncalli in 3A. 24-14 over the Knights of Norwell. Our Methodist Sports Medicine Center's scoreboard. And there's Gary Scott. This could be his last season.
And that's nice to see two coaches, two competitors, two warriors meeting at the 50, congratulating each other, and letting each other know we appreciate your effort, and I appreciate yours as well. But you got to tip your hat off, and for you kids at home that want to play football and you want to know why football is such a great sport, look at these crowds, look at the fans, look at the players, and that's the reason why this is such a great sport, and that's the reason why it's getting so much better here in the state of Indiana.
Roncalli by 10. The 3A state championship is over. Lying straight ahead, 4A and 5A right here as our coverage of Indiana High School state finals continues. Be back in a moment on the LaCie Broadcasting Network.
there you have it. Roncalli Rebels, 1999 3A state champions, and what a phenomenal game for Roncalli. They did a wonderful job of doing what they do best, playing defense. What do you think, Craig?
Yes, good defense, no question about that. And Roncalli without a loss during the entire season. Now 15 wins and no losses, and what a job that they did here today. Norwell, though, playing an outstanding game. You know, you really felt, Charles, coming in that Norwell would have to play their best game of the season to come close to Roncalli. And I think if you look at everything, despite all the opposition and all the challenges they faced, this probably was one of their better games.
Yes, and now we'll go down on the field to Chris, who I believe has the winning coach.
All right here with the winner, Bruce Cypress, your third state championship, the fifth for Roncalli, a great second-half comeback.
Yes, it was. Our kids have done a great job with that all year. We talked with them a lot about hanging in there and always winning the second half, and in particular winning the fourth quarter. Sometimes it's a matter of just intensity and character, and our kids take a lot of pride in that. Tonight, I think we won the second half, and in particular the fourth quarter.
You forced a big fumble that got you a turnover, and then the big play. Shembra, a great reception. He ran the ball well in the second half.
He sure did. We've missed him the last couple of weeks. His cousin, Richie Nally, stepped in and did a great job for him for 2 weeks when Tommy was out with a bruised knee. But, boy, it was great to have Tommy back, especially on the turf. He's a great ball carrier, a great receiver, which we took advantage of some tonight, and just a great young man. So good for him.
He had a great following here. 8,000 Roncalli fans. What's it mean for the school, your fifth state championship?
Means a lot. Anytime you win a championship, it's always very meaningful. But to win our fifth and our third of the 1990s, again, it's in my mind just a tribute to our young men more than anything else, and the fact they believe in themselves, they work hard year-round, and they just deserve to win. I'm very proud of them.
Congratulations, great second-half comeback.
Thank you. Appreciate that very much.
Roncalli Rebels win again, 1999 state champions in Class 3A. Let's throw it back up to Craig and Charles in the booth.
Thank you, Chris. Bruce Cypress, the winning coach here today for Roncalli in his 10th season as head coach at Roncalli. Last week won his 100th game, so this is 101, and what a way to conclude the season. A state championship with a victory over the Norwell Knights here in 3A. We've got 4A and 5A coming up, and one more shot at wrapping this game up when we return in a moment as Indiana High School State Finals coverage continues on the LaCie Broadcasting Network. Back at the RCA Dome in Indianapolis, the 3A state championship going to Roncalli, 24-14 over Norwell. Both these teams fought hard. Norwell coming up a little bit short, Charles.
Great effort by Norwell Knights, though. They have nothing to hold their heads low about. They got here by playing great football and ended the season with a respectable record and a state runner-up. A lot of times you only hear about the champion, but the champion had to play someone, and that someone had to be Norwell this year, and they should tip their hats off to themselves and be happy and build from this to next year. They now understand what it feels like to be at the championship type of caliber team. Now they need to build on this and get their freshman teams, their JV teams, playing at this level so they can stay here for the years to come.
Gary Scott in the loss for Norwell. Now 161-90, his career record, which could end with this game. There is speculation he won't be around next year. But 21 years at Norwell, and that is, Charles, dedication to not only a program, but also to a cause, and that is working with young people, and we salute Coach Gary Scott of Norwell.
Every coach should be commended. One of the things that you don't think about, you think that the coaches are just trying to get the players to be athletes and to get them to play well on the football field. But they also, as we get a look at Shembra, they're also made to be men. They're made to be people that can go out in society and give back to the people who have given to them. And Shembra, as well as these coaches, have done a good job.